Chaos filled the auction barn. Dogs barked while people called out and laughed. Yet in an isolated corner, a German shepherd with visible scars shook behind corroded metal bars. His coat lacked luster, and his gaze seemed empty. A placard hanging overhead stated, "Former police canine, starting price $1." He once answered to Rex. He'd once been considered courageous. Lives had been rescued by him, lawbreakers had been pursued, and he'd stood with pride next to his partner. His current state reduced him to a discarded veteran being auctioned off like garbage. The auctioneer called out in a booming voice, "Opening bid $1." Chuckles rippled through the audience. Nobody raised a hand. Nobody showed interest. Mocking whispers circulated through the crowd. "That used to be a working police canine," a voice said mockingly. "Look at him now, worth only a single dollar." However, within the gathered crowd was a young girl, barely 6 years old, gripping one wrinkled dollar in her small fist. What others saw as a damaged and discarded animal, she perceived as something wounded yet hopeful. As she moved forward, her mother attempted to hold her back, saying quietly, "Honey, that animal's not safe." The young girl simply replied, "That's not true. He's just frightened. I'm going to buy him." Collective gasps echoed through the space. Complete silence descended on the barn. Rex's history included commendations as a K-9 unit member. One night during a narcotics operation, he'd thrown himself between his partner and incoming gunfire. The bullet struck his spine at an angle. That night, he preserved someone's life. Yet everything was taken from him following the incident. Deemed unsuitable for continued service, he was forced into retirement, cast aside, and ultimately auctioned. Time passed. Weeks became months. The spark within his eyes dimmed. Hope faded that anyone would speak his name ever again. The young girl wearing the violet coat moved closer. Her mother, Officer Emily Carter, paused uncertainly. "Lily, don't go far from me," she said quietly. Lily paid no attention. Her attention had locked onto the German shepherd. "What's that dog doing alone in that kennel?" she wondered aloud. "That one isn't right for us, sweetheart. He poses a danger." "Fear is what he feels," Lily responded gently. "He isn't mean." Once more the auctioneer's voice rang out. "Item number 47. $1 to start." From Lily's little hand emerged a single, crumpled bill. Emily's expression showed shock. "Lily, don't do this." It was already done. "I'm purchasing him," the child announced with clarity. Silence overtook the barn. Emily crouched next to her child. "This isn't a plaything, honey. He's been injured. He's afraid. You could get bitten." Lily refused to be persuaded, shaking her head. "I won't be hurt by him. Someone is what he's been waiting for." The auctioneer managed a strained smile. "Young lady, are you certain about this choice?" Lily's gaze remained steady. She approached, extending the dollar with both small hands. "I'm completely certain." Emily released a sigh, understanding her daughter's determination was unshakable. "What's the price for him?" The auctioneer rubbed his head thoughtfully. "Nobody else made an offer. I suppose he's yours for that dollar." The hammer fell with an empty sound. Lily approached the kennel and lowered herself to the ground. "Hello there," she said in a whisper. "I'm called Lily. Everything will be fine." The canine's body went rigid. A threatening rumble emerged from deep within. The observers moved backward anxiously. Emily's pulse quickened. "Lily, move away now." Lily remained where she was. "You're not mean." She spoke softly. "Fear is all you feel." The threatening sound ceased. The German shepherd angled his head a bit, examining this small person who wouldn't back down. His tail moved slightly, showing uncertainty. Lily's face brightened as she moved incrementally nearer. "You do remember. You recall what love feels like." Against the frigid iron bars she placed her tiny hand. With hesitation, the canine raised his paw, shaking, and positioned it opposite her hand on the bar's other side, creating a perfect match. Murmurs swept through the barn. Tears welled in Emily's eyes as she touched her mouth. The cage door was opened by mother and daughter working together. The crowd braced themselves, anticipating violence. Rex remained motionless. His eyes blinked deliberately, and his head lowered. Then, taking one careful step, he moved past the boundary that had imprisoned him for months. From Lily came the words, "That's a good boy." As daylight faded, they traveled home. In the rear seat next to Lily, Rex rested with his head on her legs. "Safety is yours now, Rex," she said softly. "Being a police canine is behind you. Now you're simply mine." A peaceful routine of building trust developed over the following days. Lily groomed his coat while sharing stories about her classes, her artwork, her aspirations. Rex paid attention, his tail moving in small, tentative sweeps. During stormy nights, Lily would nestle close to him. "Fear isn't necessary. I'm right here." One peaceful, tranquil evening, Emily drifted to sleep in her upstairs room. On the sofa, Lily had dozed off, her hand upon Rex's back. The German Shepherd rested at her side, drowsy yet watchful. Then from the kitchen came the sound of a window being opened. A flashlight's narrow beam moved across the countertop. "Stay silent. Take whatever you find." From Rex came a rumble, low and deep enough to disturb the silent atmosphere. The burglars became motionless. Like a phantom, Rex sprang forward without sound. The flashlight clattered to the floor. One burglar tumbled backward, his arm trapped in Rex's jaws. "Make him release me!" he screamed. In her upstairs room, Emily snapped awake. She rushed down the staircase. Positioned between her slumbering child and two frightened burglars held to the floor stood the aged police canine. "Rex, come here," she ordered. He withdrew several steps, continuing his threatening rumble, his attention locked on the men, while Emily retrieved her communication device. Police officers arrived in mere minutes. One officer expressed disbelief, shaking his head. "Your entire household was just saved by that dog." Emily positioned herself beside Rex on her knees. "You accomplished it. She was protected by you." Captain Hayes, from Emily's former station, identified him. "K903. That's who this is. That's Rex. We believed he hadn't survived." Among our finest canines he ranked. As morning arrived, news of the incident had circulated throughout the community. The newspaper's headline declared, "Canine purchased for $1 rescues family. Genuine hero emerges once more." Several months afterward, the previously neglected barn had undergone a complete transformation. Above the entrance hung a new placard with pride: Rex's Hope Animal Rescue and Rehabilitation Center. Where neglect once prevailed, a sanctuary for fresh starts had been established. At its heart stood Rex, the dignified protector of each creature crossing those doors. During a pleasant Saturday morning, Lily positioned herself next to him, grooming his gleaming coat. "Being in charge suits you, doesn't it?" she laughed. Emily walked over, carrying correspondence. Thank you messages are arriving from throughout the state, with people saying Rex motivated them to provide homes for animals. A young boy's letter stated, "Rex's story inspired me to convince my parents to take in an unwanted dog. Max is his name. Gratitude for demonstrating that heroes exist in every form." Lily embraced Rex's neck firmly. "Look at that, Rex. Now you're assisting everyone." As evening approached and the sun descended beyond the hills, Lily and Rex positioned themselves outdoors beneath the amber sky. "Something you should know," she said quietly. "The truth is, I didn't rescue you. You're the one who rescued me." Rex moved nearer, gently resting his head against her. From the doorway, Emily observed them, her eyes filling with tears. Far off, the barn's lights activated, casting light on the sign displaying Rex's name. Within that stillness, the world seemed somewhat more compassionate. This happened because a young girl recognized value in an existence everyone else had dismissed. Grand gestures aren't always where miracles occur. Sometimes a single dollar and one compassionate deed are all it takes.